Welcome back, and joining me now is one woman who is passionate about giving back to others. Keosha Brewster joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
And for those who may not be familiar with your work, tell us a little bit about you and your passion.
Well, I'm Keosha Brewster. I am the founder of The Herd, and also So You Think You Can Date. And The Herd is specifically for women escaping domestic violence or have already escaped domestic violence. And we provide, support groups or emergency shelter. And So You Think You Can Date is the teen initiative, which helps girls not to get into dating violence.
Wow. Those are two awesome initiatives. Talk to us about why you decided that that was something you wanted to start.
Well, I got started because I am a survivor of sexual and domestic violence. And as a hairstylist, I would hear women all the time talk about being abused, and I knew that the problem was way bigger than me. And so I wanted to do something, and that started with a very small give back of doing hair and makeup and massages for survivors. And from there, I had the vision to do Chattanooga's first domestic violence walk called the Loud Walk. And that is actually when I started my nonprofit after that.
Wow. What has your interaction been like with women that you've been able to help?
It's actually been amazing because I can relate, so I understand them. And so the openness that I get with those women is incredible. I didn't think people with domestic violence being such a stigma and people not wanting to talk about it, I didn't think people would be so open to talk about it with me. And so the reception has been amazing.
Wow. So what is your advice to those women, and how did you manage to escape the situation that you were in, if you don't mind?
Well, I got out because, and I always tell people, I really believe it was the grace of God. The men that I dated always moved on, and so that's how I got out. But one of the, I would say the factor was having people around me, people that I could tell, people that didn't judge me. That is how I was able to be empowered and encouraged, and knew that that's not a life that I should be living. And so I would tell every woman, number one, the first thing that you could do for a survivor is to believe them, encourage them, empower them, and try to get them help. And if you are in those situations, you need to find help immediately because it's very dangerous.
Right. So you guys, when's the next walk happening?
The next walk is October, the first weekend of October. That's when it always will be. So October 2020, I don't have the exact date yet, but it will be the first weekend of October.
So why do you feel like this was an important outlet for women in Chattanooga to have?
Just because of the stigma. It is very taboo. People don't talk about it. And then being in a community where I know it's happening all the time, I felt like if somebody didn't speak up, it will never stop. And I have a daughter, and I wanted the next generation to not have those strongholds that maybe mine and previous generations had.
Right. So with the other organization you started that's more geared towards teenage girls, what exactly is the curriculum for that? What are you talking to them about? How do you attack that? Because that's that age where you kind of like, I know everything, I don't need any help, I got this, and it's like, you think you know everything, but it's not until you actually get yourself in that kind of situation that you realize that you're in way over your head.
Oh, yeah. With them, it's not as unique as people may think. I don't try to mentor them. I really do try to journey with them and go through life with them. The first thing that teenagers have to do is trust you. Even if they don't always relate or they don't think you relate, if they trust you and they believe you, then they will go with you, they will follow you. And so I know and I believe that if we could stop the cycle of abuse and violence at that age, then when they get older, they will already know the signs and they won't be apt to get in those relationships.
That's a good point. Okay, so how many women and girls do you interact with as far as your organizations?
With the women overall, there's probably been about 17 women that I have had hand-to-hand contact with. With the girls, it's 20. The girls are growing though. More and more girls want to be a part of So You Think You Can Date because it looks like them, and it really is teen geared, and it's really teen led. I allow my teenagers to lead any kind of events that we have. I really want their voices to be heard, and their opinions do matter.
Okay. And so what is the name behind So You Think You Can Date? Because that's an interesting, I wouldn't automatically think this is an organization that's trying to kind of mold girls to understand what dating should look like. Why is that the name that you chose?
Well, I thought it was kind of catchy, and we know that kids like catchy stuff, and adults, we like catchy stuff too. And I was having a conversation with a young lady, and that was a question I asked her, like, so you really think you're ready to date? And that is where it stayed, and that's where it came from.
What was her response? Just curious.
Well, initially, yes, until you really break down what dating looks like, until you really get deep into, you know, are you just with somebody because of what they look like, or do you care about the deeper part of a person? And so once I started having those conversations, my girls started to see, maybe I'm not as ready as I thought I was. And that is where we come in to try to give them the tools that we have so that they can ask the right questions, so that they can know exactly what they're getting into and be equipped with who they are when they get into relationships.
Right. And I think that you just made a great point, because a lot of people think just dating is just fun, and it's really going to require you to be in a healthy relationship. You have to know who you are, and at that age, you just don't. You're still figuring out what you like, what you don't like, and so I think that that's a great point that you just made. Just saying, you know, it's also about you being whole. When you go into a situation with somebody.
And that is the overall theme of So You Think You Can Date, is to build stronger girls. That's what we want to do. We want to make them stronger. Not that they already aren't amazing, but we want to make sure that they have that we focus on the whole girl, not just the dating aspect, but also teaching them about entrepreneurship, teaching them about their credit, teaching them about their bodies, their body health, and all of those kind of things. Hair, makeup, everything about the girl, everything about the woman. We want to make sure that they have every tool that they need so that they can make sound decisions when they start to date or when they go out looking for a job.
Right. So, in your opinion, what are the telltale signs for a young woman to be like, I think this is going to be our first and last date? It's over with.
I think the control factor. Our teenagers don't really think social media is a problem. They really just feel like, I got control over that. But when somebody can control your social media, when they can control who you talk to on the phone, if they have your passwords, if they demand your passwords, then that's probably a sign that I don't know if I want to date someone like that.
Right. All right. Keosha, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for all of the good insight that you provided, and I just hope that you continue doing what you're doing, because it's definitely something that's needed.
Thank you.
All righty, we will be right back after this break.